who is our speaker today. I would like to give a brief introduction about Payal. Payal is a globally acclaimed leadership expert and speaker, and she has more than 2 decades which she has dedicated to helping individuals and businesses succeed. She is recognized by the media for redefining leadership, and she is a globally acclaimed Indian American leadership expert and executive coach. Payal has been honored as the only Indian American woman to be a powerful leadership speaker and author in corporate America and globally, thereby playing a significant role in helping to shatter the glass ceiling for women in the workforce. Her work has been embraced by Fortune 500 companies, small and medium enterprises, management institutions, celebrity CEOs, entrepreneurs, government officials, and universities. Her advice gets you to the next level no matter what. She firmly believes that success is within, and she has authored a book in the same name. Her books, published by the leading publishers in New York, are helping people achieve success and lead a fulfilled work life. She has been featured on television, global magazines, newspapers, podcasts, and more, and she's a regular speaker on America's 88.1 FM. Payal lives with her philosophy that leadership starts and ends with you, and believes that success can be achieved with both speed and serenity. Wonderful, Payal. It's an honor, a pleasure to have you with us. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashri. Thanks a lot to everyone today who is here. I know it's a Saturday evening. You could have been anywhere doing so many other things, but you actually all of you chose to be here. All of you chose to, work on yourselves. And I think that itself is such an applaudable thing that you are doing. So thanks to all of you all for being here and to WICCI for this platform. It's an honor to speak with such great women leaders like all of you. And I truly, truly say this because in my work, I am constantly speaking with men. So, when I am giving workshops in companies, when I'm coaching, when I am in the boardrooms, it's all about the men in the room. And I hardly get to see one or two women, in those meetings and in those sessions. So whenever I get an opportunity to speak with women, I truly feel blessed and I feel so empowered just by being with all of you. So that's great. And I always feel that one should never underestimate the power of people, especially the power of women who want to succeed. And I am here with all of you in this virtual room, with people who are determined to succeed. So how about we start with something different? How about each of you give me a yes in the chat box that you are ready to be an unstoppable leader, that you are ready to raise your leadership expertise. So go ahead and give me that in the chat box, please. Just a big yes. And I'm going to start with that too. Great. Now there is a reason I asked you to do this. It's not just because I want you to write that for me. The deep reason I asked you to do this is that whenever I speak and wherever I speak, I'm not a person who comes with prepared slideshows and PowerPoints that I can take you step by step on something. I actually, wherever I speak, I come with a lot of experience. I bring you real life examples of my clients, of what's happening in the world out there when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to leading your field, whatever you are doing. And for that, all your responses tells me that yes, you resonate with what I am saying. It tells me that you are the type of a person who is willing to move ahead, who is willing to do what it takes to get there. So throughout the session, you are going to have, I'm going to tell you to do a lot of breakthrough exercises with me, because there is no point that I speak and you listen to me, you feel great about it, and then you lose everything out. So keep some paper, pencil, your iPhones, whatever you want, wherever you can take down the stuff, because something that I will share with you very humbly is that, my work exposes me to some of the most successful people in the world, whether they are CEOs, whether they are entrepreneurs. Most successful people of whom you and I only read about is the people I speak with, I coach. And I learn from them and I distill them in so many of my books. I have my second book has just released, and I say this because all of this is not available openly on public domains. So, when you write them down, when you realize that, oh, life is beyond what we read on Google, it's beyond, business is beyond what we read in the magazines. All these practices are the things that these people are doing, but they are not openly available. So please keep whatever you have ready amongst you. Give me a yes if you are an entrepreneur, if you are having your own business, your own practice. That will just allow me to know who all are my audience here today. So if you are a person who has business or you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking of starting your own business, just put a yes in the chat box for me. Okay. Okay, and if you're a person who is working in a corporate, give me a yes. That you're not in your own business, but you're working for someone, you're working in a corporate, you're working for an entrepreneur, a startup, just give me a yes on that, please. Okay, great. So I think we have a great mix here, and I will take the session according then to what majority of you have written. Okay, so now as I begin to talk with you about how women raise their leadership game, it's something, it is very close to my heart. I want you to go ahead and write this statement wherever you want. Today onward, I am an unstoppable leader. I have put it in the chat box for everyone. Today onward, I am an unstoppable leader. I really want you to focus a lot on this statement, my friends, because this is one belief that most successful people in the world work around. Okay, and I'll quickly talk to you about this topic before I share with you how you are going to be an unstoppable leader, how women actually raise their leadership game. Now, some of you might be saying to yourself, hey, Payal, I am not a leader at all. In fact, I'm an entrepreneur. I run my business. I'm solopreneur. I don't have a team or anything. Or maybe, you may be thinking, okay, you know what, Payal, I've been leading my business for years and I have been leading teams for years. I'm a pro at leadership, Payal. What does this statement mean for me? Now, it means a lot of things, my friends. Give me a yes in the chat box if you have a goal, if you have a dream that you truly want to achieve. And let the chat box be on, because that's where continuously I usually frame the session according to what answers I get. So if you have a goal, if you have a dream that you want to achieve in your career life, just put a yes for me in that chat box. Come on. Super. Okay. Okay, I see that coming. Okay. Now, you see, my friends, whatever goal you have, whatever you wish to achieve, it's all uphill. All your dreams, all your goals are uphill here. And if you don't work on your leadership, if you don't keep raising your leadership bar at all the time, situations will overpower you, people will overpower you, and you will find yourself stuck. And I have seen entrepreneurs getting stuck after 5 to 8 years of their business. Recently, I was coaching one of the people from, he's a chiropractor. Okay, so I've been coaching him. He has been in the business for 18 years. And it's after 18 years that he is feeling his business is going slow. It's coming onto a decline, and especially during these COVID times. And most of us are going to feel that if you are working somewhere, you will find yourself stuck at a certain level, especially mid-management level. All of us, we have our dreams uphill. And if you don't keep on raising the bar, your situations, your people, your obstacles will all overpower you. And let me tell you something here, my friends, which is very, very, it's sad to say this, but most of the time, women do not think about leadership. They think about business, they think about success, they think about career, they think about moving ahead on the corporate ladder, they think about expanding, but they don't think in terms of leadership. Leadership has nothing to do with your title. It has nothing to do with the role that you are in, with your experience, with your designation, nothing at all with any of those powers. In fact, for 21 years, and even now, I coach and speak with those people, and I see that I've learned it very well from them when I say that everything that you want to achieve in your career life, in your business, my friends, it depends on your leadership height. It's the core of your success. Please write that down. It's the core of your success. And when I say leadership height, I really do not mean, again, all those accolades and where you have reached and what's your position, what are the numbers in your business. There's so many people who come to me and say, hey, these are my numbers in my business. That doesn't show me, how successful you are. There are people who come and tell me, hey, I have been in my business or I've been in this company for more than 18 years. That's just a number on a resume for me. When someone comes and says, hey, Payal, I know I need to coaching from you and this is what I've done. 18 years is just a number. What you have achieved in that 18 years could have been achieved in 8 years. That's the game you want to play in your work life. So I wanted to think of something, and this is something just for you. You don't have to write it down for me. On a scale of 1 to 100, I want you to give a number to yourself on leadership. Now, when I'm saying leadership, I'm not talking about communication, conflict management, or the skill sets. You will get that everywhere. Every other person can train you on that. I am talking about something very different. I am telling you to give yourself a number on the leadership mindset. Are you able to move ahead with speed? Are you self-directed? Can circumstances overpower you? Do you get dejected very soon? Are you a person who can transform others, influence others? Are you a person who can make sure that everything that you do, it is in mind with people around you? Everything that has got to do with your inner leader, I want you to give a number to yourself on a scale of 1 to 100, what type of a leader you are. Okay. Now, whatever number you have given yourself, I really want you to pay very close attention to this, my friends. If you have given yourself, say I give myself a number 50, which means I am somewhere here on my leadership. And everything that I want more clients, I want more business, I want to grow, I want to become the vice president of the company, I want my team to perform at their very best. Guess what? Everything is going to come and stop here. I can almost guarantee you your income, your clients, your success, your progress, anything that you want in your work life will never surpass your leadership. Never. I have seen this happening every time. Nothing will ever surpass your leadership. You want more income, you want to attract more clients, even during this time of COVID, you want to make sure that your team, your boss, everyone gets you to the next level. You've got to raise your leadership capacity. You have to raise your leadership capacity. You've got to focus on that. Friends, business never slows down. There is never death of a business. It's we as a leader who slow down. It's we as a leader who die from within. There is never slow growth in an organization. I have had people who would come to me after my workshop, after my session and say, hey, you know what, Payal, I want to do the one-on-one coaching with you and I want to get into another company because I don't see any growth in my company. And after the session is over, after the coaching sessions are over, it's the same person in the same organization and they have grown, which means your outer environment, your boss, your clients, the economy, the place, the country in which you are has absolutely minimum, I would not say zero, but minimum impact on your results, which means you have the ability to get the results that you want in your business and in your job. And that is the reason leadership is extremely important in any field, in any work that you do, my friends. So when I'm saying about, when I'm talking to you about leadership, I want you to write down this one equation, which I think will change the entire game for you. Height of my success is equal to height of my leadership. I'm going to see if I can type it for you here. This statement will become a game changer for you. That's my assurance. Height of my success is equal to the height of my leadership. The more I grow, the more my business grows. The more I grow in my career, the more I offer more. And when I say growth, I don't mean just up the ladder. There is only one position, doesn't mean that everyone will get it. It's about your growth, my friends. Where are you reaching? What's the impact you are creating? Because we have a very limited time in our work life. We are not here to stay forever. So what's the impact you are creating in your work life? What legacy are you leaving behind every single day, not just once, at one time? What is it that you are leaving behind every single day? So, if you read any of my books, these are self-help leadership books. And, I got recognized for writing self-help leadership books because nobody writes self-help leadership books. Okay, that's period. People write self-help motivation books, but nobody writes for people in the work field, that how they can help themselves and grow. And I started to write self-help leadership books that got picked up by one of the best publishers in New York. So if ever you want to make sure that you succeed, make sure that you put your leadership bar up. Now, let me ask you something, and if you can freely share that in the chat, it will help me to, again, frame up the next part of the session for you. What are some of the issues you face in your journey to growth and to move ahead, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you are working somewhere? What are some of the challenges that you are facing in your journey? Can you all put that down for me? It'll be interesting to read it so that I can help you with those problems rather than just, speak something which is framed up. Fear, okay, that's a very, very sharp one. Fear, yeah. Would love to hear what the fear would be about. Time management, okay. Any other? What challenges do you face? I don't know where to start. Oh yeah, I think that's, I don't know where to start. True. What else? What else? Failure, fear, okay. Fear of failure, okay, yeah. I think whatever you all are writing, and if you all have some more, anyone, just keep putting it in, because like I said, it really helps. What people will talk about me, oh yeah, very much. Team of younger age group, yes, especially if you're dealing with millennials at this point of time. I tell you, they are the most easiest people to deal with, is the team of younger age group, most easiest. People management, yes, one of the core of any of my books has been people management. How to have a wider reach, how you influence. See, whatever now you all have written, if you look at it carefully, everything that you have said, fear is something that is generated from inside, which means it's your inner leader is not to the level as you would want it to be. Time management, we never manage time. You manage yourself, time gets managed automatically. What people will think about, it's more of a self-sabotaging and putting yourself inside. Failure of fear, it's again, fear of failure. It's again a self-sabotaging thing. Decision making, yes. Decision making is one of the biggest things that you will have to do as a leader. You are a leader before you are anything else. Please, one thing that I really want you to put it very much in your mind. I am a leader before I'm an entrepreneur. I am a leader before I am a vice president or anything of a company. Before I am a human resource manager, I am a leader in myself first. So let me tell you something. All the answers that you have given me now, it reminds me of something. But before that, I want to ask you something. Do you know what is the reason of of these challenges that you are facing? What reason have you come up with when you would say, okay, one of the challenges decision making? What is the reason? I know my challenge is how to have a leadership mindset. Okay, it's my own mindset. Okay, any other thoughts on that? Of what reason would I give for my fear of failure, or what reason would I give for not making it where I need to make it? My experience. Yep. Okay, great. Whatever you all have written, it reminds me of an incident, very true incident that happened in my own life. Internal change we need to make. Yep. So what happened is, this was in the year of 2000. And that's the time when I had just relocated to the United States. And I had left a very thriving career back here in India. So I was looking for jobs, and I had decided that rather than getting into corporate America, I will get into small, medium enterprises, into SMEs. So it was easy for me. I got into the job, and everything was going great. I was getting to learn the culture. My pay was good. I was very happy with the work I'm getting to learn. It was an advertising firm, I remember. The only problem I had was my boss. Now, not that she was not good at or not great at anything or something. It's just that she was a boss that she was a type of a person you would just not want as a boss. She was not a people's type of a person who could guide, mentor, anything, right? So there was constant friction between her and me, constant. And when it came to other type of a work, like delivering the ads, speaking to clients, she was great. So anyways, I said, okay, I'll hold on 3 months, 6 months, because I'm so fresh here in the US. Nobody's going to take me for a job immediately. Waited for 8 months, a year, and the frictions continued. It increased. And then finally, I did what any of us would have done. So I submitted my resignation letter. And because these are small companies, it's SME, so everybody knows you at the top also. So the next day when I came, I heard that the vice president of the company wanted to meet with me. And I went there, and he said, we are rejecting your resignation letter because the CEO of the company, he knows your work, and he said, why don't you work in another department independently, and we'll see how things go from there. I said, fine. I was happy with my job as it is. So I took up that role. After a year or two, I got promoted. I went into the leadership roles. And I still remember it was the year of 2004. We were just going to take a break for the Thanksgiving holidays. And the CEO of the company, he decided to spend 5 minutes individually with every person in the leadership position. And I was really excited because I wanted to say a thanks to him, right? Because of whom I've been able to grow. So when it was my turn, and as he took his seat, I still remember I told him, I said, thank you so much. It's because of you that I am here and I am being able to grow. And he looked at me and he immediately said, I'm not the person to thank, Payal, because I really did not help you to grow. In fact, you've got yourself stuck. And I looked at him, I didn't know what to say. It was like, okay. And then what he said, it really hit me to the core. He said, Payal, each of us, whether you're doing a business, whether you are here with me today, he said, each of us in our work life, we are going to undoubtedly, undeniably, we are going to face challenges, obstacles. We're going to have frictions with bosses, clients. We're going to have the work pressure. We're going to be in situations where we are not going to enjoy the work. We feel like running away. You're going to have midlife work crisis, and everything is going to come and hit you. And you are going to have your share of failures and success, everything. You see, when you are going through that period, each of us will also be given 4 options in our career life. He said option number 1 is you just stay where you are, ignore everything and just focus on your work and forget about everyone and everything else. Option number 2 is you quit. You go ahead and join another company, another boss, go ahead and find someone else. Option number 3 is you stay where you are, you adjust to everyone, but at the same time, you feel frustrated from within, and you wake up every day complaining and just pushing yourself and dragging yourself to work. And he said option number 4 is you make yourself so powerful, you raise your leadership level to such an extent that you are the one who keeps moving ahead. He's saying everything in your life, in your work life from now on will depend on the option you choose. 5 minutes over, he thanked me and left. Now, at that time, so much in my early 20s, in my such first job back there, I didn't get the core of what he was saying, but it definitely hit me, definitely resonated with what he said, and I held on to it. And as I navigated all the challenges in a new country, as I navigated my own work, leaving corporate America later on to do what I was to do there, I realized that whatever he said, for each of us, wherever we are in the world, option number 4 is the best. Because each of us, with what you wrote, we are going to face the fear. We are going to have failures. We are going to be worried about what people think about us. We are going to wonder, how do I create that impact? Where do I start from? And at every doubt and every question that you have in your mind, if you're going to be relying on people, then you're going to be torn apart. Should I do this or should I do this? Because remember, my friends, the goal that you told me with very confidently that, yes, Payal, I have a goal that I want to achieve in my business, in my job. That goal is yours. No one can understand that goal. No one can understand where you want to reach. In fact, no one can see it either. So if you can see it, when people come to me and they say, Payal, I want to grow to this level in my career, or when I want to expand my business, I don't doubt them. I cannot see their goal, but if they can see it, I can take them there. That's what I believe. If you can see it, anyone will be able to take you there. It's not about me. It's about any coach can guide you to take you there if they are an authentic coach who knows what they are offering. So option number 4, I want you to really think about this and be very honest with yourself, because it's not about writing it to me. Which option do you choose most of the time? When you have conflicts, when you have problems at your work, when things are slowing down, when this COVID situations have come and they have disrupted everyone's plans, when you are not able to see a way ahead, when you don't know where to start from, when you don't know how to manage the younger team, what option are you choosing most of the time? Option number 1, 2, 3, or 4. And that's something for you to really introspect, my friends, because whatever option you are choosing is going to also determine the height of your leadership on that equation which I gave you. Think about it, my friends. If you do not choose option number 4, raise your leadership game. How else? In fact, I should ask you, where else? Where else are you going to learn how to deal with tough people if you don't have people around you who push your buttons? Where else are you going to learn about leading difficult people, leading difficult teams, if you don't have a difficult team? Where else are you going to learn all these nuggets of growth and success if you are not placed in a situation where you can bloom? In fact, from the past couple of weeks, I have been getting so many messages in my email box from people asking me that, Payal, right now we are stuck in the COVID situation. All our plans are disrupted. My business is slowing down. I'm not seeing growth in my company. I don't know how to grow ahead. I think it's time for me to change. And because I was getting those messages, of course, I cannot do a one-on-one with every person who talks to me. But I recently put up a video in my leadership club where I wrote about, I spoke about grow where you are planted. Grow where you are planted in whatever situation you are right now. Don't jump into the change. Because if you jump into the change right now, what's the guarantee that tomorrow into that new project, you will not jump again with the slightest of the problems that will come your way? Career life is great. It's a wonderful phase each of us are in. We all go through the midlife career also, where we feel pulled into spirituality, where we feel pulled into getting into something new. Just today morning, I was doing a one-on-one with one of the senior managers of Amazon. And she asked me this question that I'm feeling like this. Is it a midlife thing? And should I move ahead with it? No, you don't. That's how you begin to frame your inner leader so that it guides you to the correct path in your career. It helps you to grow. And each of you, if y'all can just give me a yes, that you are with me and this is good for you. Otherwise, I can make it more simpler. I'm just taking it to a higher level as I can. So, okay, great. Okay, so that sounds good. Super. So let me give you some of the tactics of how you can take this to the next level, how you can raise your leadership expertise. By raising your leadership expertise, you should be able to see a change in your results. That is for sure. But you have to practice them, right? So I'm giving you these practices of how most of these people, successful people, imbibe it. Number one is, I would say, activate the success cycle. Just based on what all you have written on the chat box, that these are some of the problems you are facing, I would say activate the success cycle. Now, there is a leadership cycle I speak about in my books. I'm not taking you through that cycle right now, but just think about it. When someone is asking you, how are things for you during the crisis? I want you to just pay close attention to your response, because after today's session also people will ask you, so how are things for you during the crisis? How is work going on? I want you to pay close attention to your response. Are you the type of person who responds, yeah, it's okay, it's all slowed down, I don't know when this situation will change, I'm waiting for the pandemic to get over, even the shots that was supposed, the vaccination that was supposed to come from Oxford has been into a situation, I don't know when things will change, I'm waiting for my boss to give me. So I wanted to see what's your language. Okay, if you're this type of a person, or are you the one who acknowledges the crisis? You can't ignore it. And you say yes, because I don't want to truly minimize the fact that each of us are in a crisis and that there is a lot of loss happening around in the world. I don't want to ignore that. But at the same time, I also don't want to ignore the role each of us has as a leader to move ahead. So pay close attention to your language. Are you acknowledging the current situation and then speaking in ways that take you ahead? Because most of us, we forget that leaders are known for their results that they produce, and results stem from your actions. Okay, maybe if you want to somehow capture this in a way that you can draw your own cycle, that you have your results, they stem from your actions, and your actions are based on how your inner leader is operating. Okay, and I'll give you a way of knowing it. Think about it like this: if your inner leader is disturbed because of the current situation, of, like you said, some of your, like you said, let's take this example of what you all said. I am worried about what people will say about me. Okay, what people will say about me? What type of feeling does that generate into you? What type of energy does it create into you? It cannot create a high level of energy, right? That means your energy level has dropped down. If your energy level has dropped down and your feeling is of fear, I fear what people will think of me. So the fear has reduced your energy. Think about this now. You are a person who has the best of the knowledge, best of the resources. You are very skilled. You have the talent. You have the ability. You have the credentials to do what you can do. But just because it has dropped your feeling, dropped your energy, what type of action will you feel like taking? Think about it very deeply. And if you don't take massive actions, what type of results will you get? Poor results from a person who can do wonders, from a person who has the ability, who has the credentials and everything. So this is called the success cycle. In the book, I write a lot about the leadership cycle. It's similar to what I am saying. But people don't realize that whatever is stopping them from taking that best action is because of what cycle they have created inside of them. Let me tell you, A players, legendary leaders I have seen, they do not operate in this cycle at all. Think about it, from the business moguls right up to the janitor. Everyone has been affected by today's situation, yet you will observe there are some who are moving ahead and some who are stuck. It's all because of the cycle that is generated inside of you, and it's a very vicious cycle. Most of us, we don't pay close attention to it. We are so involved with results, with actions, with delivering results, the numbers. We are so involved that we forget that there is a vicious cycle of leadership, of success that is big. So be aware of your language right now, of how you feel about this change, what you do, and be aware of your state inside. Your inner leader will determine everything outside. It's very easy to know whether all of this is impacting you. It's very simple. When you wake up tomorrow morning, just observe how you're feeling. Okay, are you ready to take up the day? Are you looking forward to meeting with your customers? Are you looking forward to that meeting with your boss? Are you excited? Or are you dragging yourself and you're like, oh my God, another session with my boss, another the workload is increased and I'm working from morning to night now because everything is online. Just observe how you wake up, what state. Then you observe the second step. Does that state change? Okay. So maybe you woke up in an extremely, extremely powerful state, and somehow down the line, someone, your client or someone came and said to you, I just don't like the way you are presenting this work. You're never on time. I just don't like how you are working. See if that changes your state. Or maybe you woke up in a downward spiral state and someone came and said, wow, the way you work, it's creating such an impact on our team. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're with me. And it again makes you into a powerful state. If that happens, it shows that your remote is with everyone else. You're not generating and not activating the success inside of you. It is very much dominant that everyone around you is responsible for it. And I'll guarantee you that state will not change until someone else comes and rechanges it again. So keep the remote with you. It's very easy to know how it is done. Okay, I don't have the time to talk more about how to get this done, but at least you will start to be aware that this is the cycle I'm operating in and I need to take a shift. I don't want to work in this type of a cycle, right? So how do you feel at your work every day? Who is responsible for your feelings? And let me give you a challenge over here. How about this? Every day, you just have to make sure that you tell yourself that I will generate the success within me, not letting the environment overpower you or not letting things overpower you. There are going to be cheat days where things will mess up and where things will overpower you. It's a natural phenomenon. We are human beings. You cannot all the time be in a situation where you're going to be like, oh, I've generated it inside of me. But the fact is, the more you generate it in smaller situations, the higher the chances that when a bigger situation arrives in your work life, you will be able to come back and respond more effectively than you would if you were not practicing this in everyday smaller issues. So think of what is your issue today, what challenge you are facing, and like, for example, if the challenge is what people will think about me. Okay, so if that's a challenge, or the challenge is fear, or the challenge is I'm not great at decision making, how are you generating that success inside of you? So what language are you using to start with? And then using it in smaller ways, and then keeping the bigger situations away. The bigger situations will handle themselves if you are able to handle yourself every single day. That's a guarantee. I can almost say that to you. So, okay, so to have this leadership challenge, I gave you a reflection to work on, that perform this reality check analysis, RCA, every single day when you work. And give yourself every day, that's your breakthrough action, that every single day I'm going to practice this for smaller situations, and for during this meetings that I have with people, I'm not going to let them disturb me. I have to focus on something bigger in my life. That bigger is uphill, it's your goal. That's the only focus you have right now. Yeah. Second is when I think some of you, I'm just going to go back to the chat, some of you wrote about decision making and having a wider reach. I would say if you are looking at having more influence, if you want to be a person who wants to make great decisions, some of you said it's so tough to deal with the younger team. The second practice I would talk on this then would be communicate in the language of value. Okay, communicate in the language of value. Now, again, something I have seen, women usually fall short on this, and it's nothing that, oh, as a woman, that is why we are like this. No, no, no. It's just the way our society, and when I say society, I don't mean India, I mean the world at large, because I travel around and I meet people all around the world. And every society that I have worked in, every country that I work in, this is how women are raised. So we don't talk much about leadership, and that's why I really advocate leadership a whole lot. And we don't talk in the language of value. So you have to be very clear the value that you bring to your clients and to your boss, to your team. They may be hard to handle now, but what type of value are you talking to them about? Right now, you have to offer more substance, not speculation. Right? It's more like, okay, I will do this versus this is why I will do it. It's going to benefit you. So make sure that you must have heard about this. Many a times we tell women, have your voice be heard. Okay, just give me a yes, yes, if you're with me on this. How many times we tell, we hear this women empowerment stuff where we say, oh, as a woman, your voice must be heard in the boardrooms. It should be heard in the clients. Okay, give me a yes, yes, if you've ever heard of all of this. Now, it's really not more important than you bringing out your voice. More important than that is what you are offering through that voice. What's the value proposition? What's something valuable that you are giving that will make the conversation move ahead? Are you asking questions that you feel you need to be asking? Are you offering suggestions that could help the company, could help your organization, your boss, your clients to move ahead? If you don't make a business case, something that I just remembered, if you don't make a business case, you won't make it to the seat either. Please, if you can write that down. If you don't make a business case, if you don't make the outcome very clear, you will not make it to the seat either. That seat can be growing your business exponentially. It can be moving ahead in the ladder, whatever it means to you. You have to talk in the language of value to the people, talk in the language of the outcome. Because my friends, you can do everything else right. But if your people, your organization, your team, your clients, they don't see the value, or they don't understand the final outcome of it, they will not buy into it. And when I say outcome, it's like, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? We did a online webinar for doctors throughout Mumbai. We did a workshop for doctors in complete of Mumbai. We had more than 700 doctors who joined that association with whom I was speaking at. And most of them said that at this point of time, we are not able to speak to our patients. They are fearful, they don't come. Yeah, because they don't see the outcome. Are you showing them the outcome? What's in it for them? If you want to grow your practice, what's in it for them? So those are some of the things I always tell people to follow, especially women. So something for you to reflect on. Think about what challenges you face while talking about your business outcome. About outcome. Let's take it like that. What challenges do you face while talking about outcome? Okay. Okay, I see some yes is coming. Okay. Now think I'm going to give you a challenge here. I want you to every single day shift your language from talking about yourself to talking about the results. How about that? Shift your language from talking about yourself to talking about your results. Yeah. And let's put an action out, breakthrough action out there, which you can again practice every day. Can you work on what is that one thing that you do or you offer better than anyone else in your field? What is that one thing that you do or you offer better than anyone else in your world, in your field? Yeah. In fact, I think Harvard had also conducted a great research on it. You can search it up online on why women do not move ahead in their business, in their in the corporate ladder as fast as men do. And the results were very powerful. It was not about pay inequity, or men being more better off in their skills. No, but yet men were being promoted more. Men's businesses were doing much better, and things. And they said the main reason is because women do not talk in terms of blowing their horn in telling what they are doing and what they are bringing to the table. And all of that, if you put it together, it's basically we don't talk in terms of value. What can I do for you to help you? So when entrepreneurs come to me, or when people from the corporate world approach me, and they want to grow when I'm during the coaching session, I always ask them, what is that one thing that you do differently from others in your field? You're the best at it. Think about it. I'm telling you, you will get such profound answers that, oh my God, such profound answers that I am so much better at this than anyone around me, whatever field you are in. When we spoke with doctors last week, they came up with such profound thing, because otherwise everyone was telling me, no, Payal, even I am a physician, and even they are a physician. They are a physician, but you have something in your practice which is not offered by someone else. There is something inside of you which is not inside of me. What is that thing? You have to do some deep introspective on that. Yeah. Dr. Achri, I would like to just pause here and ask, do I give some more tactics? Do we open it up for Q&As? What do you suggest?
I don't know what people feel. You can just type in the chat box. Do you want more tips, or do you want to ask some questions?
Yeah, because those questions will help. Maybe through those questions, I can answer and share more tactics. How about that?
Sure. I have a question from somebody,
Sure.
who has sent it to me on chat. 1 minute.
Yeah, I think through questions, I can even think of more tactics and share.
Sure, yeah. So she has been a sole proprietor for a long time. And now she wants her daughter and her husband to join the business.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that I have a problem in planning as a team. Even though we sit together, I end up racing ahead. And I find that they are slowly resigning themselves to the fact that anyway, she will decide.
Okay.
Are there any strategies that I can use to ensure that the process of planning and strategizing become more democratic?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Great question. When we are solopreneurs, even I was a solopreneur when I started this years back, and as a solopreneur, what happens is you're more inclined to have done everything on your own. So you know the way. Okay, think of it like this. You know the way. That's why you have reached where you are. You've reached the top of the mountain. And you know how now you want to go from that point to the other mountain. So you're building a team. When solopreneurs build a team, they build with the intention that they will help me in my journey to move ahead, to increase and become better in my work, in my business. But what we fail to understand is we have figured it out how to reach there, and we know the path. But the ones who are joining you are not working at your speed at all. They are not really inclined to reach faster, because otherwise they would have been an entrepreneur too. So rather than you telling them, hey, come up here, it's really great, let's do all of this work and let's decide on this. And you know what? I know this is the correct path. How about you come down to their level? Just come down to their level and assume that they don't know anything, and use what I call PAQ, the power of active questions. PAQ. The power of active questions means rather than you telling them, you begin to ask them. Ask them their opinions, make a complete chart out of it, write it down that, okay, these are some of the suggestions, do a great brainstorming. No telling. PAQ, power of active questions. Absolutely no telling anyone anything. Make a problem statement and then ask questions. Where do you think we should go? What is it that we should do? How do we do this? You know, what are some of the things you have experienced in your work? Can you share that with us? So let them begin to say, then leave it and say, okay, each of us, let us meditate onto all these points and let's see where we can go. And then you meditate separately, pick up which you feel best and come back to them. Okay, you know, out of these 10 things, I think these 3 resonated with me. Which 3 resonated with y'all? Get all of that, pick the best and move ahead. Take them with you, but at the same time, maintain your speed ahead also. I am hoping that answers
Yeah, I think those were very useful suggestions, Payal. I think that's something that most people or most leaders face. You know, sometimes it is the speed management, and you know, some people are. I mean, that's what makes each of us unique, right? So it's so important to remember that, but at the same time, work towards a common objective or align people towards the common objective of the company. That's very true. So I have a few other queries that have come up. Just give me a minute. Yeah, how do we deal with competition or negativity?
Okay, both are very different. Okay, so I'm answering the former part of it, that how do we deal with competition? I really don't know, because I don't personally believe in competing with anyone. I believe you have your goal, you have your dream. I do believe that you should be aware of what's happening in the market around you. Very much aware of what's happening in the market around you, what are people offering around. And that's why I asked you that question. What is that one thing I can do better than anyone else in the world, anyone else in the field? That one question will open up so many doorways, you have absolutely no idea. So when it comes to competition, I would say don't focus your energy, time in dealing with the competition. It's going to take you nowhere. I have experienced it. I learned it very well when I started to work with these executives. They are playing their own game. At the same time, they are very aware of what's happening in the market. Huh? They are very aware. They know who has what strategies. They're just aware. And when they know of what's coming up in the market, they try to raise their leadership bar. So every time that you raise your leadership bar, automatically you are getting ahead of the competition. So run your own race. Don't really, I still don't know who my competitors are, because I don't know what competition is. But I do believe in providing something that no one else would provide. I do believe in that. I do believe that if you can keep raising your leadership bar, if you're aware of what's happening around you, and you can provide better, and that's why I also said speak in the language of outcomes. It will help you to know your people more better. Now, competition is not only in business, it is very much internal into places where you work. Again, be aware and use that as a stepping stone to move ahead in whatever you are doing. I myself have experienced that the more you concentrate on another person's game, the more you slow down. Nothing else is going to happen.
Okay, I think I have a question in the chat. As an entrepreneur, when you are passionate about a cause, how do you pass on and replicate the same essence of passion in others? especially youngsters? I think there are a couple of questions about the younger generation, and you said that they're very easy to handle.
They're very
So
easy. Yes,
I think
yes.
we'll take a few tips there.
See, again, can you repeat that question,
Yeah.
Dr. Ashri, please?
As an entrepreneur, when you are passionate about a cause, how do you pass on and replicate the same essence of passion in others, especially youngsters?
By your work. Youngsters are, if you see the youngsters today, the millennials that we speak about, they are playing their own game, right? They are a whole lot on the social media. That's how they interact. I have teams who, leaders and entrepreneurs who tell me that my team prefers that I chat with them. They don't like to get on a call with me. That's how they are, and that's why I say, come down to that level of the person and begin to take them up, at the same time not slowing down your game. So you have to come to their level. You see where they are preferred. Their preference is the phone. They love to chat. They love to chat and tell you, this is what we are doing. Great. Reply back, respond back. But at the same time, the reason I say they are easy to deal with is, the reason I say work. Your work will pass on that passion is, youngsters today, they are not the committed lot. You won't see them the person who will believe in retiring with the golden watch, right? The moment they feel it's time to switch, they will switch. They are not into a whole lot of savings and thinking too much about the future. They love to live in the present, do everything that they can, spend what they can, and enjoy life and work together. They enjoy both. So your work, your guidance, your mentoring is, they love to be mentored. They love to be guided. I speak at so many universities worldwide. I see that they have this passion to learn. So how about sending them emails on something that would interest them? Something about, about their problem. And that's why I said, when you talk in the language of outcome, you would know what they are looking for, what your team is looking for. Once you get that, how about sharing a piece of article that came across and you say, hey, I thought about you. They love building relationships. They love building relationships. And that's the easiest thing to do, is to build relationships. So if you begin with just these few things, it should build up on its own, and you would find a rapport with them. That you just want to create a rapport with them. That's it. And your work will speak volumes to them. Volumes.
There's another question, Payal. How do you deal with jealousy in teams and workplaces?
Yeah, very much into the even the negative thoughts that we get. How do you deal with jealousy? My first question to that thing would be, how do you know the person is jealous unless you are truly concentrating on that person? Which means if you are concentrating on that person, you are not concentrating on your game. There is only one thing that your mind can concentrate on. Either you concentrate on what people are thinking about you, which comes back to the same thing. People are thinking about me and that's why they are jealous about me. Or you concentrate on your game. And there is a very nice Buddhist story, which I think is a very, very apt one for this, about how this one person, Buddha, he was traveling through this forest. Every time he would travel through this village, there was this old man who would keep cursing him and speaking badly with him, and not liking to really putting him down, because he was very jealous that everyone speaks highly about Buddha. And every time Buddha would smile and walk past. One day this villager, he stopped Buddha and he said, every time I curse you, I come in your way, I create obstacles. I'm jealous about you, and because people consider you more higher than me, and yet you always smile and you go. Why is that? Don't you get impacted? And Buddha asks him a very, very clean question. He says, if I give you a gift and you don't accept it, who does the gift belong to? He said, of course, back to you. He's saying it's the same thing. I don't accept this gift, what you give me. So definitely it's staying back at you. It's negatively impacting you first before it impacts me. And I would add to this, whatever feelings you are getting of jealousy of everything, take it as a stepping stone to step ahead and move ahead. Because remember one thing, people are jealous only of people who are playing their game extremely well, which is a very big indication to you that you are doing excellent in your work. What else do you want? Use these people as a motivator, not as someone who you have to deal with. Use them as a motivator that, wow, I'm doing great. Why will someone be jealous of you if you're not doing great? Why will someone want to create an obstacle or put you down if you're not climbing up? So use them as a motivator that, okay, I'm definitely on the right. These are the people who will tell you you're on the right track. How else are you going to come to know? You're not going to wait for your boss to respond or clients to tell you. That's how you know you're doing a great job. You're on the right track. Move ahead. Use it as a stepping stone. And you see, all of this is going to help you to move ahead. These are part and parcels of our work life. You can't concentrate on them. So move ahead, and just use it to keep knowing and motivate yourself that I am on the right track. You don't need outside motivators to come and tell you what to do. This is self-motivation. Wow, I'm on the right track. That's why they are jealous. So be thankful that you have these criticisms, you have these people around you.
Very nice. That's a wonderful thing. And anyone else would like to ask any questions? Can you please post it in the chat box?
Okay, I have a question here. People like to copy. How do we deal with it? Again, it's the same thing. People will copy you only when you are moving ahead. And that's the reason you have to raise your leadership bar. Because otherwise, it will be easy for someone to come to your level and move ahead. It's the same thing when people come to me and say, I'm very afraid my team will go ahead of me. So that's why I'm not doing too much for them, Payal, because otherwise I'm really threatened. Or people would say, I'm really threatened that this person will compete in my business and move ahead than me. Of course they would. But are you raising your leadership bar every time that it becomes almost impossible to copy you, to play the game that you are playing? So every time I do coaching with these entrepreneurs or with people from the corporate, I tell them how to raise their game. That's the only thing I tell them is how to raise your leadership capacity to such an extent that you become the best version of yourself. You are so self-directed that it's impossible to copy you. So that threat is because you feel this is the best I could do now. I don't know what else to do. So every time you go upward, that threat will go downward automatically. People will copy the best in the field. So again, be proud of it. But don't get stuck. Otherwise, the competition, the people who are copying you will go ahead. So you keep moving ahead, dear.
Okay, are there any questions or specific queries that anybody would like to ask? So I have something to ask you. See, we are all, in some way or the other, we are culturally, emotionally, intellectually, sometimes also programmed, part of our upbringing,
Yeah.
partly our upbringing, partly our experiences, our peers. All of this has an influence on what I am as a person, right? So you were talking about how there is a certain leadership circle, inside everyone's head or everyone's. How do you break out of that, and how do you look at things differently so that we are not saying the same things? Because I face that too sometimes, where I talk the same language in my head,
Yeah.
and I know that it's stemming somewhere from my conditioning or my experiences or people whom I thought influenced me, whom I learned from.
Mm-hmm.
But that again becomes sometimes a conditioning that you're doing to yourself, and so how do you break out of that?
And it really impacts your work a whole lot. That's true. That's right. So what you asked, that's right. That's a complete process. That's the complete coaching that I do of 5 sessions of how you have to make the shift to that new cycle, because otherwise your results will continue being the same. You can put maximum efforts, but you will get the same minimum results. So it's a process, but to start with, like I said, you have to activate the cycle, begin to change the language. And to change the language, again, those are the steps that we tell people to do. It's something I may not be able to answer right as of now because of the process that it involves. That okay, every time that we do this and we say, okay, now did you change? Did you change? And it reprograms the complete. You begin to know that now this is the best version of myself, and I take it higher, higher from that. But yes, it does start with. That's why the first thing I mentioned was activate that cycle by at least seeing who has your remote every time, who is the one who is making you feel powerful or really putting you down every time. There is someone who has it. There are many people who have it. There are many circumstances to whom we have given the remote. That would be the starting point of making the shift.
That's very powerful four words you used. Who has your remote?
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
And in fact, continuously on my LinkedIn and especially the Leadership Club, all of you who are here today, if you just put down that you are a part of WICCI, you please go ahead and join the Leadership Club. I will be so happy to have you all as members in the club. It's completely free. It was something that was only for the executives earlier, but then I opened it up to people completely in the workforce so that they can have a lot of resources on how to strengthen their inner leader. So please, if you find it of value, please go ahead and join it. It's on the website. And some of you asked the question, no, Dr. Rajshri, the question that you just asked, I'm going to share a link. Not sure if I have it handy, but that link will tell you at what level each of us is operating.
Okay.
Let me check if I have it here. Just give me a second and I will check and share the link with everyone. Don't know why I don't see it. Okay, but I think it should be this one. I'll type it in the box. If it doesn't open up, then please feel free to let me know because I don't remember it. I'm typing it in the chat box. That will tell you what leadership level you are operating at. And if any of you are on LinkedIn, please feel free to connect. Just put down WICCI and I will accept it. Okay, that link should help everyone to just gauge their leadership capacity. You can use it even for your team. It is something we had worked it out, and we saw that you come to know where exactly you are operating at.
Okay.
Maybe that would just help each of us see just what capacity on 1 to 100 where we are.
Yeah. That should be.
So each of us then knows, okay, if I am at this level, how do I expect my business or my growth to reach? And that's how you decide, yes, I want to make that shift.
Right. So I think there is one more question. One tends to restrict oneself. How do you overcome that? Because sometimes we put barriers for ourselves.
Yes, that's a lot to do with what we say self-sabotaging. There is a method I have mentioned in the book. I'll give you a synopsis of it in this new book. It is called Act As If. It's very powerful. Like you said, we restrict ourselves. There has to be reasons of restricting yourself. So I'm not getting to the root of it that I would do usually. But whatever goal you have, whatever you want to become in your business, in your work life, are you already behaving like that? Are you thinking, like say, for example, I have people who say, oh, I want to become the director, or what, Payal, I want to make sure that I expand my business exponentially. Are you behaving like someone who expands the business exponentially? Are you thinking like them? Are you acting like them? Does your walk, your confidence, everything show in that? You know, majority of the coaching that I have done, there's so much that I do on confidence, because if you can act like it, you are going to definitely make sure that people begin to brand you like this. They begin to see you like this, and your actions change so much when you act as if you are already doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't let the reality stop you. Most of the time what happens is we let our job description, our reality, our current client numbers, our current business numbers, we let that define us. And then we believe that, okay, this is what I was made for, so we settle for less. That, okay, people are saying, I've had in fact, in my own experience, I will tell you, I'll give you this example, and I'm sharing it very humbly with you. When I started this work of speaking and executive coaching in the US, there must have been every person who must have told me that it is impossible, because not for anything, whatever the reason they said is a fact. It's a fact. There is not a single woman of Indian origin to be in this field of white male dominated field. That is a fact. So it was not that they were trying to show me a picture which is not. So I had also done a research, and there isn't as such. But then that did not stop me. That made me feel, okay, if there is not, could there be? So then you introspect, you ask yourself, when I got into becoming when I got named as one of the only Indian American women to be in this field of speaking of leadership, I'm not speaking about motivational speaking. That is a very different game completely. Leadership is very different. Now, when I got that title, and I'm humbly sharing this with you, not to impress you, but to express to you that when you asked me this question, you have to break the boundaries within yourself first. The boundaries that are made by people are not so strong in your life as the boundaries that are made within you. That is the strongest and the most hardest to break. So I always tell people, don't make your fears, your doubts get into a mountain. It's very hard to break it. Let it remain small. It's easier to tackle it when it remains small. Don't start building it up like this. That's the hardest to break, and I've gone through it. So make it simple. There are going to be people who will tell you it's impossible. I don't know the reason of why it's impossible, but then I achieved what I had to achieve in my field there, and now I feel blessed to be of service to people, to help them break that same barrier, to increase their business, because I myself started to feel that achieving success in your business, in your job, is no rocket science. And whatever I learned, still when I'm coaching, these A players, even today when I was speaking with one of them, I learned something which I shared it with you all through this talk. Of course, we cannot name them because they are celebrities, but what I learned, I share it. So go ahead, practice it. You will yourself feel, oh, they could do it. Anyone can do it. It's simple. And again, I'm saying that very humbly, not to impress, but to really express to you that please believe in it. Success is no rocket science. There is nothing to attract about success. You just become, success, I always say, is never discriminates between a man or a woman. If it would discriminate, I would also not be where I am. It never discriminates between a man and a woman, but it does discriminate based on, are you a person who is only interested, or are you a person who's totally committed to doing what you want to do? That discrimination will be there. So don't feel that I have to attract something. No, I have to create it, because success is finding people to stay. It's finding a home. You're the home. Success is finding a home. You are not finding success. That's why the first book is Success is Within.
So, Payal, I have, sorry, it just came to me and then went out.
No problem.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So, anybody else has any other questions? Yeah, I remembered. So I think this, I'm not only speaking for myself, I'm speaking for many women here who have uh, stayed on a certain path to carve a niche for themselves, you know. When I look back and I look at certain things that I've done, uh, I think there are two things that, you know, stand out for me, at least. It's I wouldn't have reached where I am if I did not have the grit, you know. And sometimes, I mean, there are so many times when I would have just wanted to throw in the towel, you know, and say, I just can't understand why I'm in this, you know, why should I even do this when I could just be, you know, taking life a lot easier, right? But somewhere something pushes me, you know, something pushes me towards this, and then I stay on the track. So do you have any tips for people on how to develop their grit and determination, you know, because as you rightly said, success wants a home. So and I personally think that these two factors are equally important, as important as commitment. So if you have any learnings to share, we'd be happy to hear that.
Sure, Dr. Rajshri. I think that's a great question. That, you know, how do we just stay and keep going in the face of crisis, in the face of everything, when we feel like giving up? And one of the things that I sit with during the one-on-ones with people is, I tell them to remember, why did they get into this, you know, into this job, into this goal? Why did you make that goal? You know, most of the time what happens is, when I sit with people, I understand that the goal was not their goal. It was the goal, you know, because the parents you know, put it in our heads, the society shaped it, we were told to do this, especially the women, when they were said, oh, you know what, don't take this path, it's going to be very treacherous, you're going to have late nights, it's not for you, why don't you just settle down for an easier one, you'll be able to manage your home and the work together. So most of the time when people come to me with their goals, they realize the goal is not theirs at all. And then when we make a new goal, they understand why they want to achieve that. What is it that's deep within them that they want to solve? And that goal is yours. When the goal is yours, when the dream is yours, you will have no reason of not wanting to wake up in the morning and do it. There will be times that you want to throw in the towel. There will be times where you feel, you know, I don't want to do it. I felt the same. I said, you know, what is this? You know, why am I wasting so much of time in getting recognized as the only Indian doing this? They're not going to recognize me as such. But then I realized that the deeper purpose I wanted to do this first was that I really, truly from inside wanted to break one of the biggest barriers that we have is, you know, whenever we think of leadership, we look at the West. Whenever we read leadership books, we read of authors in the West. And that was a very deep insight of me, that does it mean that we are not good at leadership? Does it mean that we don't make great leaders? In fact, India has one of the best leaders that we can think of. So that is one thing I internally wanted to break, that, you know, how about doing something bigger? How about putting up the picture that books written by an Indian is published back there, and it is being read by all corporate leaders worldwide today. So there has to be some, and that goal cannot be my parents' goals. Okay, they would not tell me to go ahead and do something like this, which is a very treacherous path to take. That goal cannot be the society's goal either. So build your goal. What is your true goal that you want to achieve? You know, what is it that you want to create? And something I always tell people, don't create small goals. I want to become the vice president of the company. I want to increase my client base. Create goals which have an impact on the life of people in the world. Automatically, your smaller goals will start to, you know, take shape and get you there. Bigger goals are never shaped by the society. They are never shaped by the parents, unless you're born in a family which is going to, you know, really push it in you. That's a very rare thing I have seen amongst people. But otherwise, I think if everything is coming from that cycle inside of you, you should not be able to feel that you need any motivation from outside. You have to fill your own cup every time. And then you see what you have to do. Once this thing was achieved, I began a bigger goal. I want to help more and more people become successful in their life, because I'm seeing success is easy. Then why is it that we have a gap in our society today? So now I speak for the world at large. So I think just make your goals larger and create it from inside of you. It should help you to wake up every morning, and it will bounce you back whenever you're feeling low. That's my personal experience I shared this time.
Very true. I think it has to become your need and your goal. That's very true. You have to own it. So, yeah. So, any other questions? Any queries?
And I know even if you have any questions, please feel free to connect. I love to connect with people.
I think Sabita has sent you a request, is what she had put in the chat message.
Sure.
On LinkedIn.
Whenever I'm on LinkedIn, I will absolutely accept it, Sabita.
Okay, that's great. So wonderful, Payal. If there are no other questions, then I think we had a very, very insightful session. And I think what was really nice is we talked about what everybody feels, and what everybody faces. So wonderful to hear from you. And any other questions anybody has? One last chance.
And also, if anyone has a good screenshot of all of us here, I think that will be so nice. I would have loved to tell everyone to have their video on, and we can give a big thumbs up to each other.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Otherwise, a screenshot would be so good. And you don't have to worry about your environment, right? We are all in a home environment. We all know that.
I think now we've become pros at Zoom calls.
We're all in a home environment. So let's give a huge thumbs up to WICCI, and to all of you who spent your Saturday here. I really hope I was of value. And if I can be of any help in your journey, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, we really.
Or anyone who you know will be benefited, I will be happy to take that up.
Absolutely, Payal. And we thank you for your time. And it's so nice to get to know you. And definitely we will be in touch.
Yep, let's take a screenshot. I don't know who's taking it, but it'll be
Abhiram
great.
Abhiram.
Okay, great.
Those who can quickly, can you just switch on your videos, please?
Yeah, so nice to see all of you. Wonderful ladies, great minds that I'm speaking with.
And also,
oh, great.
thumbs up, please. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Please share it with me also. Yep. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Rajshri, and the entire WICCI team.
Pleasure. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.